Alright, can't go forward, so I guess I'll try reverse. I'll try it, see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I got some sea foam in this. I put about a cap and a half, I guess. I filled up the tank the other day, so got 137. I think I gotta go. Make sure I don't go into that ditch. I got my ramps here, but if I can avoid, watch this for a turn, guys. I think I could do it in one. No, it's not gonna do it in one turn. Almost though, like almost one turn. Squeaky, squeaky. There's a mouse in the back of my car doing that squeaking. Sounds like brakes, but it's just a mouse. He growls too. It sounds like the hubs. It's just a mouse. It's just a mouse, guys. Alright, so anyway, yeah, okay, so that's mission 1 done. Everything looks good. Pretty icy back here, but I don't go down that road because I like to keep an eye on when it snows to see if there's anybody going in there or whatever. You know, I can tell how many times the plow guy goes by, that kind of stuff. Alright, so I'm gonna head her back. Quiet, mouse, quiet. Alright, anyway. Yeah, so now I'm gonna head home. But first, I have a mission, a guitar mission. Gotta go tune that guitar. I'm gonna see how that young up plays. I got him a speed pick. So I'm assuming he's gonna know nothing, right? But maybe he's like me when I was a kid. Had an acoustic guitar for a couple of years, learned to play a little bit. But if he can't tune his guitar, chances are he doesn't know how to play at all. When my cousin George, he's like, Reg, he goes, do you know anybody that's selling a guitar for say like $150? I'm like, good luck. So you're not gonna get much guitar for that, but you know, the kid sticks with it. Problem is if it's a really shitty guitar, he's not gonna stick with it, right? If it's a really good, but if I can teach him a little bit just to get him into it, then he'll want a better guitar, right? And then, you know, get it, you know, I'll teach him the addiction I have, you know. I think kids in music is the smartest thing a parent can do. Kids who study music tend to achieve a lot more in life. Not every one of them. You know, there's exceptions to the rule like myself, but they tend to be happier. They tend to be smarter. They're less likely to do drugs. There's all kinds of studies that support why it's a great idea to get your kids into music. It exercises the mind more. They're less likely to get depressed. I mean, I don't say it won't happen. None of that stuff will happen if you play music. Because, I mean, it's not like we don't have our fair share of whacked out rock stars, right? But what I'm saying is it's definitely sets a child's mind up for thinking. Because music isn't really that hard to understand. If you can understand A to G, and sharps and flats in between, a few notes. 12 notes. That's it. That's all that's on the guitar or piano, or you pick an instrument, there's only 12 notes. That's it. That's the only notes that there is. A to G. And then a couple of sharps and flats. So, once you know that, you just got to figure out where they are. And then after that, like all the scales and stuff, like you don't memorize the scales. You don't need to do that. Like I can teach guitar to a lot of people, but I don't memorize scales. But I know what I'm looking at. So I know what a scale is. I know what a degree of a scale is. And again, it's letters and numbers. That's all it is. It's letters and numbers. And you basically have major chords, minor chords, diminished chords, and augmented chords, and suspended chords. And that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? It's just figuring out what's where. And what works for one, like, it's all formulas. So what works for, like, D minor, A minor, F minor, G minor, B minor, C minor, C sharp minor, whatever, F major, or F sharp minor. Doesn't matter what minor it is. Every minor chord will have a flat third. There you go. So the intervals. Once you learn your intervals, the circle of fifths, you pretty much have all of music theory, pretty much the roots of all music theory right there. The circle of fifths. Or fourths if you look at it in reverse. So it doesn't make sense to somebody when you say it like that, but when you show them, it's like, oh, well, that's pretty easy. Then it's just a matter of what Paul Gilbert talked about. Here's your playing abilities. Here's what you hear in your head. And the idea is to get them as close as possible, right? So if I can play the music that's in my head, I'd put Mozart to shame. I kid you not. Some of the arpeggio sequences I can hear in my head, I'm like, if a human being could ever play that, it will be so epically glorious. It'd be like the heavens opening up and angels singing. It'd be that good, you know, or you know, the depths of Hades, you know, depending on what mode I want to be in, you know. And there's 7 modes, you know, and then there's you know, if you were to add up every scale combination that you can find, it's about 168 scales. But that includes the modes and everything. And modes are just a different version of scales. So there's a lot to learn. You can't learn it all in one night. But I have like basically 10 lessons that I teach people to give them the basics for music theory. And I haven't taught in a while, but I taught my neighbor the first, you know, like 2-hour blocks, right? And it's a lot for somebody to take in. But at least if you start them off on the music theory, they're not going to get it in that 10 weeks. They're just not. It takes a lifetime to master it, right? And that's what's great about guitar or piano or anything. It takes a lifetime to master it. You know what I mean? Music is never, you know, you'll hit plateaus and creative blocks and stuff like that where it's like, hey, I just can't seem to get out of this creative rut, and then you try something crazy. Mark Holcomb from Periphery. If you want to hear a really cool song, there's 2 versions. Well, there's probably more than 2 versions of it, being Periphery. But you'll see a guy standing there with a blue guitar, blue PRS guitar, and there's like lights in the back. You can see the lights in the back, and it's like a Periphery playthrough. Mark Holcomb. That's the instrumental version of it. That is really good. And then it's called Wax Wings. And fantastic song. It's progressive metal. Might not be, if you're more of a country guy, you might not appreciate it right away for what it is. But it might be good. You have to listen to it with the best headphones, whatever the best speaker system you have to listen to it with. You have to listen to that full screen. Just really immerse yourself in the song, and it's so good. And it's very progressive, so it's kind of hard to follow in a way, but the instrumental version is like, it's easier to take in, because with the vocals it's got kind of all over the place, but it's the same song. It's that much more complex with the vocals. The vocalist, like, they sang it live, I think, for the first time last month or whatever, and the vocalist halfway through the song, this song is so fucking hard. You know, the crowd's like, woo, you know, but it's like the notes the guy's hitting, like, I don't know how this guy has vocals left, because he, you know, there is a way they scream in metal now that's a little different, right? Like, if you think of AC/DC, okay, we'll use AC/DC. Well, actually, hold that thought. We'll talk about it in the next video.